George Santos, A Political Narcissist, Part 2. We've already heard about some financial chicanery involving Mr. Santos, demonstrating his ability to lie, the revisions of history, the future faking that he engages in, demonstrates his sense of entitlement, absence of emotional empathy, a lack of accountability for his behaviours. But we're just getting warmed up. There's plenty more that shows that this individual's use of the truth, as you understand it to be, is fast and loose. Santos has used the name Anthony Zabrowski to fundraise for a pet charity, Ironbound Animal Rescue. While records contradict his claim that his maternal grandparents had any Ukrainian Jewish ancestry, lie, revision of history, or any ancestral last name of Zabrowski. Santos has also claimed that he is biracial, as his father was born in Angola. But there is no evidence of that. Lie, revision of history, character trait acquisition. New York has observed that Santos, who had not made much mention of his purported Jewish ancestry during his 2020 run, referred to it frequently in 2022. Triangulation, character trait acquisition. When all the candidates seeking the Democratic nomination to replace Suozzi were Jewish. According to a former friend, Santos frequently made anti-Semitic jokes. Provocation, absence of emotional empathy, contradiction. Then claimed this was acceptable because he was Jewish. High-handedness. The same person also corroborated an account that Santos had joked on Facebook, use of social media to assert control, about Adolf Hitler killing Jews and black people. Triangulation, provocation, absence of emotional empathy. On his campaign website, Santos wrote that his mother was the first female executive at a major financial institution, and that she worked in the South Tower of the World Trade Center and died a few years later, after surviving the September 11th, 2001 attacks. On his mother's 2003 visa application to return to the United States from Brazil, however, she stated that she had not been in the United States since 1999, demonstrating that what Santos had asserted was a lie and a revision of history. His mother's actual occupation had been described as domestic worker, lie, or home care nurse, lie, with regard to the financial position. She described herself that way on her 2003 visa application. Upon her death, a Brazilian community newspaper described her as a cook. Santos's former roommates and friends said she spoke no English. In July 2021, Santos wrote on Twitter that 9/11 claimed my mother's life. Lie, triangulation, pity play. In an October 2021 interview, he said his mother was caught up in the ash cloud during 9/11, but never applied for relief because the family could afford the medical bills. Lie, revision of history, character trait acquisition, triangulation. In December 2021, he wrote on Twitter that his mother had died 5 years earlier. In December 2022, he claimed that both of his parents survived being downed there at the World Trade Center during 9/11. Lie, revision of history. A priest at the family's Catholic church reported that Santos had told him that the family could not afford a funeral when Santos's mother died in 2016. The priest recalled that a collection at a memorial mass raised a significant amount for the family, which he gave to Santos. Santos claimed in 2019 and 2020 to have attended the Horace Mann School, an elite preparatory school in the Bronx, before withdrawing because of family hardship. Pity play. The school reports it has no record of Santos. Lie, revision of history. There is no known record of Santos ever having attended any college or university. Both colleges he claimed to attend have said they have no record of him. Lie, revision of history. I would never have gotten the nomination from the Nassau County GOP if I had not concluded college, Santos said in a February 2023 Newsmax interview. Lie. To say that I deceived, and it was a campaign of deceit and deception, is just not fair. Denial, lie, pity play. That's just the political spin that the Nassau County GOP wants to create on this narrative. Blame shifting. Santos falsely claimed to hold a bachelor's degree in finance and economics from Baruch College, lie, revision of history, and to have graduated in the top percentile of his class with 3.89 grade point average, lie, revision of history, character trait acquisition. He claimed period of attendance overlapped with his time in Brazil. Friends of his have recalled times when he claimed to have been taking classes at Baruch, but never seemed to study. Contradiction. Lie. In January 2023, Nassau County Republican Party chairman Joseph Cairo said, during a press conference, that Santos falsely told him that he was a star player on the Baruch volleyball team, as his link bridge supervisor had been, and that it had won the league championship. Lie. Revision of history. In a pre-election radio interview, Santos claimed that his supposed volleyball career led to him needing both knees replaced. He has admitted to lying about graduating from any college. Contradiction, admission of lying. Santos also falsely claimed to hold a Master of Business Administration from New York University. Lie. Revision of history, character trait acquisition. To have scored 710 on the graduate management admission test. Lie. Revision of history, character trait acquisition. And to have paid off his supposed student loans by 2020. Lie. Revision of history. A prospective Harbour City investor recalled that Santos told him he had turned down an offer to attend Harvard Business School. Gregory Morey Parker, a roommate who lent Santos money in 2014, asset appropriation, sense of entitlement, that has not been repaid, absence of accountability through non-repayment, despite a judgment to that effect, recalled Santos claiming to be a graduate of NYU's business school, but seemingly not to know the school's name. He also later recalled how Santos's personal financial situation fluctuated wildly, financially haphazard, lack of accountability. He would go to bars with rolls of $100 bills, and 3 days later he would have no money. Grandiosity, financially haphazard. Throughout his career, Santos has used various aliases, fluid personality, including Anthony Zabrowski and Anthony DeVolder. A 2011 Wikipedia user page created under the latter name claims the account holder acted in Hannah Montana and the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. After returning from Brazil, Santos told friends that he had worked as a journalist for Brazilian media conglomerate Globo. New York Times journalists looked for his name on the organization's website but could not find it. Lie. Revision of history. Santos also told a roommate in late 2013 that he was a model who had worked at New York Fashion Week and would be appearing in Vogue. Santos called himself a seasoned Wall Street financier and investor and said he had worked for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, but neither company has any record of him. Lie. Revision of history. His campaign website stated that he began working at Citigroup as an associate and quickly advanced to become an associate asset manager in the real asset division of the firm. Lie. Grandiosity. But Citigroup sold its asset management division in 2005. On a 2022 podcast, Santos claimed that while employed at Goldman, he attended the SALT private equity conference 7 years earlier, where, on a panel, he criticised his employer for investing in renewable energy, calling it a taxpayer-subsidised scam. Anthony Scaramucci, who runs the conference, said there is no record of Santos having attended any SALT conference. Lie. Revision of history, character trait acquisition. Although Santos's recollections of working at Goldman were enough to fool one Wall Street interlocutor in early 2022, another was not deceived, because he recalled a March fundraiser at which Santos, after alluding to his time with the investment bank, promised that if elected, he would put pressure on China to the point of requiring the United States to stop repaying its debt to that country, and anyone who had worked in finance would not have suggested that, as the results would be disastrous. Grandiosity. Santos's claimed employment at Citigroup overlapped with his employment as a Dish Network customer service representative during the same period. Lie. He later told the Post that his claim to have been employed there was a poor choice of words, deflection, diminution of responsibility, and that a subsequent employer had been in limited partnerships with those companies. While working as a customer service representative at a call centre for Dish Network in College Point, Queens, from October 2011 to July 2012, Santos reportedly told acquaintances and co-workers that his family was wealthy, lie, grandiosity, and had extensive real estate holdings in the United States and Brazil, lie, grandiosity, showmanship. He repeated this claim during his 2022 congressional campaign, saying that he and his family owned 13 rental properties in New York. No such properties were listed on his campaign's financial disclosure forms or in public records. Lie, grandiosity, showmanship. Santos admitted to the Post that the claim was false and he owned no properties as of the end of 2022. In a November 2022 interview, Santos discussed the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando that year, saying, "I happened to at the time, have people that worked for me in the club. My company at the time, we lost 4 employees that were at Pulse. None of the 49 victims killed in the attack appears to have a connection to any of the companies named in Santos's biography. Lie, revision of history, pity play. In a December 22 interview, Santos changed his story, saying, "We did lose 4 people that were going to be coming to work for the company that I was starting up in Orlando." Lie, revision of history. During his 2022 congressional campaign, Santos claimed to prospective donors that he was a producer for the musical Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark, a show widely deemed a commercial failure. Michael Cole, Spider-Man's lead producer, denied any involvement from Santos with the show. Lie, revision of history. And the musical's playbills did not contain his name. Santos was living in Brazil for part of 2011, Spider-Man's opening year, and his alleged time as producer would have overlapped with his employment at Dish. Santos has offered conflicting accounts of his residence. During his 2020 campaign, he listed his home as in Elmhurst, Queens, outside the boundaries of the district in which he was then seeking office. Santos and his partner later moved to a row house in Whitestone, Queens. Its owner said they had moved there in July 2020. In March 2022, Santos told Newsday that he had moved out of the Whitestone row house because of the alleged January 2021 vandalism incident. But 7 months later, he said he still lived in the Whitestone home. Revision of history, contradictory. He was registered to vote at the Whitestone address during his congressional campaigns, but did not appear to live there. Santos's landlord said he actually had moved out of the Whitestone row house in August 2022, leaving $17,000 in damages. Absence of accountability, failure to make payment. But records show he was still registered there when he voted that November. He continued to receive mail there after the election, including the certificate of his election victory, according to the landlord, who had disposed of most of it. Santos told reporters that he planned to move to Oyster Bay, but he and his partner apparently moved into a house in Huntingdon, outside his congressional district boundaries. In August 2022, he told the Post the house was his sister's, but the Times later found she lived in Elmhurst. Lie, revision of history. Character trait, acquisition. On at least 3 occasions, Santos has claimed to have been the victim of a crime that he apparently never reported to the police. In January 2016, he claimed to have been robbed of the money he was on his way to give his former lady's attorney in settlement of her eviction claim against him. Absence of responsibility with regard to payment of rent. Lie, revision of history. Triangulation. 5 years later, Santos claimed he and his partner had found stones and eggs thrown at their Whitestone apartment after they returned to it from a party at Mar-a-Lago. The owner, who lived in the building's lower unit, did not recall any such incident, and the Times found no relevant police report. Lie, revision of history. After his election victory, Santos told 2 Brazilian journalists on a podcast that during summer 2021, he had again been mugged in New York City, this time as he walked out of a building at the corner of 5th Avenue and 55th Street in Midtown Manhattan in mid-afternoon. A group of thieves, he said, made off with his briefcase, watch and shoes and fled the scene before anyone, even the police, noticed anything. Vanity Fair noted that the intersection in question is one of the busiest in the city, crossed by roughly 27,000 pedestrians every 3 hours during the day. Additionally, the Peninsula New York luxury hotel is on one of the corners, with a Harry Winston jewelry store opposite, resulting in a heavy security presence, which likely includes many security cameras. Santos has not provided a police report of the incident, as the podcast host requested. His description of the alleged assault included a comment that had been characterized as an overtly racist stereotype about black people being likely to commit crimes. Lack of emotional empathy, revision of history, triangulation, pity play, false accusations, provocation. It's evident that Mr. Santos has a very strange relationship with the truth. He's utterly deluded, a fantasist, one who engages in the repeated telling of lies. He revises history on a near daily basis, acquires character traits from other people, passes off their successes as his own, and engages in the repeated telling of lies, demonstrating his sense of entitlement, lack of accountability, and absence of emotional empathy. Yet there's more. Join me in part 3 to learn more about this particular political narcissist.